be here with all of you this morning. I would like to start my talk with a poem. And this poem is taken from The Honey from the Rock by Rabbi Lawrence Kushner back in 1977. And it's named Jigsaw. In each lifetime is the pieces of a jigsaw puzzle. For some, there are more pieces. For others, the puzzle is more difficult to assemble. Some seem to be born with a nearly completed puzzle. And so it goes, souls going this way and that, trying to assemble the myriad parts. But know this, no one has within themselves all the pieces to their puzzle. Like before the days when they used to seal jigsaw puzzles in cellophane, ensuring that all the pieces were there. Everyone carries with them at least one, and probably many, pieces to someone else's puzzle. Sometimes they know it, sometimes they don't. And when you present your piece, which is worthless to you, to another, whether you know it or not, you are a messenger from the Most High. To me, this poem uses the imagery of puzzle pieces to illustrate our capacity to connect, to encourage, to strengthen, and to support each other. This poem reminds me that every life is a story that must unfold. Because life is an ongoing process of creation and is filled with opportunities. We are constantly experiencing life. Life is not a coincidence. It's a reflection of each and every one of you. We are constantly adding to who we are, and we are creating our reality every moment of every day. Every day you are growing into the best version of you. Have you noticed we all have access to knowing ourselves? We're just layered. We just have layered ourselves under habits of thinking, avoiding, running, being busy and distracted, instead of meeting what is our beautiful, joyful, true nature. Our most precious commodities are not our smartphones, our 3D TVs, our brand new cars, or even our big, impressive houses. Our most precious commodities can't be found at the bank or can't be ordered online. Amongst our most precious commodities are our purpose, our time, our health, our relationships. Because life is to be lived. Because life happens through us every single day. Because we are life. And each and every one of us is an author of everything that happens to us. The choice is always ours. Because the amazing part is, you're sent into this world to be who you are. Because there's no right or wrong. There's no right or wrong. It's just our own way of doing things. Because life is how we make it. And so it's about being open to what will happen. Because each of us, like we cited in our principles, we're responsible for how we cooperate with life. And it's about trusting yourself to make the right choices. Annette Brown mentioned about me being a school teacher, and the beginning of this month, I've been going back to school and preparing for the new school year. And last week was our first full week with the students. And it was one of those, it's been this school year that everything had a new beginning. I would go in thinking I'm in one classroom. Oh, by the way, you're going to be changing into this other classroom. And then here's your schedule. Oh, wait, there was a mistake. There's a change in schedule. Then there's this time didn't work. So every little day, I'm expecting I'm going to be receiving a phone call or an email saying something has changed, and to look. But it's not about. Yes, it's frustrating. Yes, it's anxiousness. But it was also just taking that deep breath in and saying, okay, wait a second, it is, I can pace myself with this. This is not something that's, that I have to be angry about. It's not something that that is going to make my day crazier. You know, and it was just one of those ways of just preparing myself for that. Because when something does not occur the way we think it should, it helped me to think in terms of what I can do, with the way I should be able to participate toward what I want for my classroom, for my students, for the way that I wanted to set up my classroom. So what is important in your life are the things that you allow to come into your life and the things that you allow yourself to participate with. It is wisely said that the only thing that we have the consistent power to change is ourselves. We are free to alter how we view the world, how we respond to situations, how we react to people, what we believe and what we do. And right now, this is a period of great change, and many things that worked in the past no longer do for us. And when time becomes particularly disruptive and eruptive, as these times have been currently, we can start to forget that there are still opportunities. Whatever your circumstances are, no matter what it is, there's still an opportunity for meaning. There's still an opportunity for us to connect. For me, I keep on going within and asking what resonates with me, and then that helps me to refocus, to help me to focus on the things that I'm wanting, like in school. You know, even though I kept on hearing all these changes that were happening, what am I focusing on? What am I putting my effort and energy and time into? I don't know about you, but emotionally, physically, mentally, spiritually, I've been feeling like I've been pulled in multiple directions, like a juggling act. I feel like I've been trying to figure out the balancing with life and all the different hands and different things that I've been doing. But you know what? Hope. Hope is what we have, and hope fuels the human spirit. Hope is all the little things that we do each day that makes our lives. It's our emotional engine that's the basis for engaging with life. And hope is a potent spiritual practice with the power to pull us through difficult times because it drives us forward. It encourages us to overcome obstacles and keeps us focused on achieving worthwhile goals. It encourages us with our imagination and our risk-taking and our chances that can lead to a change. And it's often undiscovered in unexpected ways. Friday, there was a student, I don't know this student, this student was not in my class, but he decided, he saw me and he came over to me and just gave me a big hug. And it was just one of those beautiful moments, and of course, you know, I hugged right back. But it was just a beautiful moment of those unexpected little hopeful surprises. Because hope is not the same as happiness or optimism. Happiness and optimism cannot exist without hope, but hope can exist without happiness and optimism. Because hope is directly related to our sense of possibility. The greater our perception of possibilities, the greater our hope. So I keep on my own little mantra, my own little life affirmation is I keep on thinking of hope and the way I'm going to participate to help to bring whatever my day is going to be. Because our world is changing. And it's not about dwelling on what it should have been, dwelling on what it is. Because we're going to have interactions with others, moments, emotional challenges. But the key is to move out of a place of fear and uncertainty, worry, and be in the present. And I try to do that as I was heading back to school this year. But in every day of my life, not just because of the new school year. It's what we do with what we have, is how we look at the situation. My family, when I was little, used to tease me. But anytime, like I hurt myself, anytime that I was worried about something, they always said, "Oh, you're not going to remember this in 15 years. You're not going to see that cut when you're 25." And what my family taught me and help me to see there is a future me. There's a future me. It's about seeing those possibilities. It's about seeing those potentials. Because it is our perception. It is our attitude. Because every day can be a new beginning if we choose. Because life is about the journey and not the arrival. Sometimes it does take a very conscious effort to enjoy the journey. Because we don't know where life will lead us. But we hear in our inner voice, speaking to our own heart. It may ask us to do something different or to keep on our path. But we have the capacity to perceive, to feel so much, fully experience it in all its light and love. To allow ourselves to breathe it in, to see it, to hear it, to live it, and to taste it. And we can open up and invite others to do the same. Because it reminds each of us that we are part of something greater than ourselves. Somewhere underneath all of our fears, uncertainties, our insecurities, and our hurts, we each have a light, a beautiful light inside. Because it's so important to feel that we are part of the tapestry of life, that we are part of something bigger and larger than ourselves. Because there is no right and there is no wrong turns. And we cannot fail because our view, our understandings, our perceptions are constantly changing. And we are connecting and we are correcting our actions by our choices at each moment. Driving here, I realized that I forgot to turn right onto Goldenrod, I think that's what it is. And I passed, it was like, oh, I forgot to turn right. And it was just like me recorrecting. I had to find a safe place to turn around and to get back up so I can make the right turn to come here. But it wasn't like, in the past I would say, oh, that was dumb, Pauline. What are you doing? You're not paying attention. It was a mistake. I didn't turn. Not a problem. I'm able to turn around and then make the corrections. Because tuning to our inner voice deepens our sense of purpose. What keeps us in alignment is our purpose and intention. It arises from our connection with ourselves and our relationship with others. That development of our personal value system and our search for the meaning of life that each of us are every day pursuing. Because part of life is regenerating our purpose. So when you're feeling stuck, and when I'm feeling stuck, it helps to identify the issue by clarifying what's important, what matters to each of you. Because this way, you get to recognize why you're participating. And then you get to focus on the things that are important to you and not focus on the things that are unimportant. Thank you. Pardon me. It's about stating our purpose and intention with whatever you are doing. Sometimes, and I know for myself, I'm not always knowing exactly what I'm going to be doing next, but simply know what feels acceptable to continue participating with it, or not to participate with it. Because life is a rhythm. It's a vibration, a pulsation at the very heart of all that is. Within the universe, there are no limits. Infinite possibilities, infinite number of choices. And the universe will nudge us forward in the direction that we're looking at, to keep on going, to keep on moving ahead, no matter how many times, no matter how many baby steps that we take. Because it is about taking a step, even if it is a baby step, in the direction that feels good to me. What feels good to me might not feel good for you, but it's about you understanding you and taking that step forward. Because when we face something that we cannot change, it helps to just change our focal point, to change the way that we're looking at it. When I have my worries, my anxieties, I come back to my breath. Through meditation, I would ask on the inner, what is really going on? What can I do differently? and to bring it back to me in my participation in the things that are important to me. Because putting things into perspective tells you which battles to fight and which ones not to fight. Because to remind yourself continually that you cannot possibly see all the facts or details of any situation for the long-term consequences of our actions. So it's about being gentle with yourself, being gentle in how you judge and criticize your actions. That wonderful self-talk. You know, driving here and not making that turn, I could have had a lot of that mind chatter and lots of different things I could be saying to myself. But instead, I was like, no, wait, this is okay. I knew where to turn. I just didn't, and it's not a bigger problem that I could have made it into, and that I have made it into in the past. Because it's about seeking to create change, not because a thing is wrong, but because it no longer makes an accurate statement of who you are today. Because we're constantly experiencing life. What we do to serve life automatically benefits all of us. All of us. It's that wonderful, beautiful ripple effect that we are all interconnected and that we are all together in this together with life. Because we're all included in that which is life. Because our greatest gift that we can share with humanity is to be ourselves. Because joy is ultimately not dependent upon other people, but our individual relationship with life. Our relationship with life. Our awareness is our most precious gift. What would anything be worth if we could not be fully aware of His presence? The only reason anything is precious to us is because we are aware of its value. We see the value in something. Happiness arises within us, not without. The ability to choose is our active power. And not because we should or are supposed to do something, nor is it because something is broken or needs to be fixed. But we get to change those parts of our lives that are no longer appropriate for us. We are free to alter how we view the world, how we respond to situations, how we react to people, and what we believe and what we do. Because there's always another way to see things. There's always another point of self-discovery. There's always a greater sense of clarity and a point of newness with something that we get to discover about ourselves. There are new and different ways waiting to be discovered. It's just about looking and asking ourselves, what can I do? Goes back to yourself. What can I do differently? Because change is constant, and it is natural, and change happens in a blink of an eye. I'm teaching special education kids, kindergarten through second. And I promise you, I can see one child here, and all of a sudden, I go to pick up something, and that kid is not there, across the room with scissors in hands, because change happens in a blink of an eye. There's no single answers, and there are no absolutes. Just because you think that you cannot reach it one way doesn't mean there's not another way. It is what it is, until each and every one of us chooses to explore more, to expand and to discover new insights, new thoughts, new ways. And it's about taking that time to discern what matters to you. It goes back to ourselves. Because personal power, just like my family had taught me, is in our thoughts and in our attitudes. Because each and every one of us can become animated and excited just with the moment of a thought, with an idea, with an image, a feeling. And our task, our purpose here, is to contribute the best of our energy to every situation with understanding that we have an effect. When we have choices, we are the master of our own participation and how we're participating. It's how we focus and how we participate in any situation can come from our own passion, our own energy, our own excitement. And yes, we're human, and so we're going to make mistakes. But it's about paying attention to what matters to you, because it's our drive and our force that leads us and helps us to decide the choices that we're going to make next. Because we get to discover ourselves, because it's that place of magic, it's that place of hope in each of us. And the amazing part is, we all want to be happier. We all want to identify, and we all identify happy in different ways. My happy might not be the way that you perceive happy, and that's okay, because it's about responding with life instead of just reacting to life. It's about taking our charge, being responsible for our actions, and helps us to take steps forward with our future. It's not what you do, but the emotions behind it. We get to laugh and smile. We get to invite curiosity and enthusiasm within ourselves. And we get to treasure each moment because we choose to do that, because that's what we want in that relationship, in whatever relationship. It's about being amazed, being surprised. And you know what? That doesn't cost us anything. Because when we pay attention to the way that we're participating, then we're back in control. Then we are seeing how we are interacting. You know, it's something that I help with my students, as well as it's a wonderful reminder with me with spiritualism and the teachings. Do not put into the world what you do not want to participate with, because we are never, ever the victim when we recognize our participation. Because every choice that we make is motivated by either our faith or our fear that directs our spirit. Because every thought that crosses our minds, every belief that we nurture, every memory in which we cling to, translates into energy. So what are we embracing? Because the truth of the matter is that happiness, like anything else, needs to be nurtured. And each and every one of us gets to define the right way of doing things that are appropriate for each and every one of us. Because life is an open horizon, and nothing is impossible. Because there really is more than one way to see the world. So it's about being open and receptive. Because life is ours to do with as we will. The point is that the choice is ours. And you get to experience, your experience is a result of your decisions and not the cause of it. We get to experience it. Because life is a bubble with an infinite number of points of direction, infinite number of choices in any way that we want to move, and an infinite number of ways that we get to participate. And the most amazing part and the beautiful part is that we get to choose it. Treasure the way that you see the world, because it's unique to each and every one of us. Value it. Do things because you really enjoy. Do the things that you really enjoy, which gives you the pleasure. And decrease and try to eliminate the sacrifices in your life as much as you're able to. Because joy is what happens when we allow ourselves to recognize how good things are. Because I believe that our greatest possession, all of life is a gift. And it's truly incredible and amazing. In closing, I would like to leave you with a quote from Yogananda. No matter what you are doing, keep the undercurrent of happiness. Learn to be secretly happy within your heart in spite of all the circumstances. And thank you for listening.